If my first innovation is going to be that if I fall behind the slides, I'm going to abandon the slides and just start talking. Thanks, Donald. I'm David Habershon, the CIO at MSD, and would like to share some things about the innovation incubator that we have, which has been going for a year and a half or so. And I'd just like to start off by saying that there is a top line and a bottom line for technology departments. You know, the bottom line is keeping the lights on, and the top line increasingly is feeding innovation into the business. And the environmental conditions have never been better for innovation. The consumer-driven revolution that we're experiencing allows end users and business units to have better ideas about how they can see technology applied to their business. So increasingly, the business looks to IT for innovation. It looks to IT to bring to market the stuff that they need to transform their business. And there are pockets of innovation activity and great ideas, but no factory to bring them to life. So we have set up an innovation practice and an incubator, and the aim of that is to meet unmatched business needs. The business context has got to be front of mind. Time to market is a key ingredient. You've got to rapidly experiment and use partnering to increase speed and reduce costs, and that's just leveraging your major partner relationships. So our innovation incubator objectives, we need to ensure that there aren't delays in applying new technology that can help the business. We need to succeed fast rather than fail fast, but failing fast is part of the process. We also need to provide an environment for business innovation to flourish, and that's harvesting their great ideas. One of the key things is to ensure that the technology trends that are emerging are applied to the business plans without delay, where they're going to add value, and that where technology can feed business transformation, that those things come through rapidly. So, in terms of approaches, I'm really struggling with this 45 seconds, but however. We don't wait for a business problem or opportunity that could be met with technology to become acute. At the point where a problem or opportunity has become acute, you're then faced with lengthy delays while you contemplate options and the business goes into a huddle. We need to anticipate things and ensure that we are we're having a deliberate and planned approach to getting technology out there. And it's about creating a funnel of ideas that can rapidly be turned into working solutions. It's also really important to go and observe the frontline business. You'll often find that the frontline are already innovating with number 8 wire. So we need to take some of these number 8 wire innovations and make them mainstream. But it's also very important to qualify what you'll work on. It's always the case that there is a finite set of resources and a finite amount of money and energy that you can put into these things. So ensuring that we have these things right is key. Has it stopped? Processes and governance. So in terms of the approaches that we're taking, having a lightweight governance process is absolutely key. So we scan the technology horizon and ensure that those things which are coming up and we need to bring into the business mainstream are being captured, and we're working on them in advance. That we have a sandpit environment which enables us to work things up, to experiment, and get into a position where we can take working prototypes to the business. So the lightweight governance and approvals process is about making sure that at any point in that train, there are off ramps. So if we've chosen or backed an idea which is not going to work, there's a way of getting off it fast. So, as I was saying earlier, we have a focus about innovation to implementation. So, implementation is the key component to this. There's no point in having great ideas that are like a university research project that don't have application in the real world. And so the business context has always got to be brought into mind first and foremost. And at the point where you can actually bring a working prototype in front of the business, you then have a fast track into business case preparation. So it's an easy process to scale up. Here are just a few examples of where MSD has used the incubator approach to get working solutions into the front line. Now these, in their own right, are not earth-shattering innovations, but what's key to these initiatives has been the rapid time to market. So we've taken months or even years in some cases off this deployment and saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in business case preparation in terms of going to market for RFPs and those sorts of things that waste time and waste money. So just in summary, I think we all need to note the changing role of the IT department, that our bottom line is about keeping the lights on, but our top line increasingly is feeding business innovation. We need to stop being the butler by showing the business how they can transform through technology innovation. And leading and driving innovation through the business is obviously a key for a successful IT organisation in the future. Thank you.
Hello there. Look, in 2009, DOC's leadership introduced a very elaborate vision for the Department of Conservation. That is to make New Zealand the greatest living space on Earth. And subsequent to the baseline reductions across government, they had to rethink how they actually do business. And, very quickly came to the realization that, they can't just cut costs and still achieve their objectives on the ground. So they realized that, look, innovation has to be the way they do business, and they'll have to partner with people on the ground in order to actually achieve things and protect the things that New Zealanders love. So innovation today is led from the top and across multiple functions of the department. And it's part of our brand core values, and that's, you can see the new fresh look of DOC, and that proves that, that message. And it's part of the accountability documentation, but more importantly, the level 3 people, the middle tier of management, have been asked to collaborate with each other across the management lines, and innovation is part of the KPIs. So underneath that is dedicated funding teams and packaged case studies for people to learn and share what wins on the tables there has been. As I told you, I'm going to be focusing more on the organizational processes in this talk. And so what is in these processes is that it's part of the broader continuum of innovation, invention, and improvement. Invention being radical game changers in science and conservation work, and improvement being just minor shifts in the way we do business. But what's common to all these things is the employee with an idea. The guy with this idea that's crazy enough to work. Well, the main thing about this new design is to help these employees feel that it's okay to come up with a different idea, a wild idea even, and provide the managerial support that's necessary. And it may not necessarily be the immediate manager who may be the best promoter of an innovation. So how do we do that? The second thing is get funding. How do we actually get funding to these ideas, and the social support? So here's something we played with. and experimented with, which was an idea bank. It's actually nothing very fancy. It's just a media wiki site with ideas that employees could put in and transparently track their workflows. Very plain and simple. But that's what kind of drives a collection of these ideas, a simple idea bank. Now, what's common to these? So some of them is to do with open data, something to do with public Wi-Fi access in the department's national head office, and many others that have found their way into other projects. So what is really common with all this is this level of transparency that this idea has in the department, and people feel respected for having been heard and told, hey, that this is not going to go forward for all these reasons, or heck, this is quite cool, let's go for it. So this thing is common, the life cycle of an idea, which people who are promoting an idea are encouraged to go outside and find champions and promoters in private sector, other agencies, volunteers, whatever, open-ended. Same thing internally, through water cooler conversations, find people who can champion an idea, but whatever pathway it takes, it's constrained in a very similar way to what David mentioned. That is, risks should be taken out of the implementation, it should be short, it should be cheap, and for an idea to succeed, those are the characteristics for this agency to actually take that idea seriously. So that's how these ideas actually get propagated in the department. But it doesn't have to be very fancy. It doesn't have to be really complicated. Like this one is actually a world famous thing, innovation done by someone else. It's actually a wine organization. It's like a small wine cafe near Cromwell. And they, DOC issues permits for people to operate on our reserves. And these people, we had to shut them down, their barbecue, because it was a fire risk. And they came back to us and said, hey, how about we do this barbecue in a wine barrel? The taste was fantastic. It worked as a fire barrier. And it's kind of, people are raving about it all over the world. They were the innovators. We said, yeah, you're happy, we're happy. So this is one of those examples that is a really good human story. So it doesn't have to be super fancy, but it adds a lot of value to the sector. But this one is an iPad app that I never imagined would be a reality when I worked with the CIO last year on an iPad trial, structured iPad trial. But what the Bueller district did with the University of Otago School of Design is come up with this beautiful iPad app that adds value to the visitor experience of the Denniston Mine project. It's an award-winning project of DOC where there's a train incline and people are they go up from the ground level up into the mine. And this app actually brings that site to life through a novel that's written about that place. And it's just, it's got all these interactive features, and it's free, and it's downloadable. So it's just something that adds significantly to the visitor experience. So there you have it. Innovation has helped create new relationships and save a lot of money on the ground on science work. In fact, Al Bramley is, our science lead, is going to actually talk about one end-to-end case study of, how that actually has worked. So fundamentally, look, we are a government agency, and we are, we do struggle with process, maturity, and all those kind of things. But, I can see that there's a lot of common threads in what, we spoke about. So I'm thinking just between MSD and us and others, there's a lot of opportunity to share, to see under what conditions which processes work, and make this practice really scalable. So thanks for having us as part of the conversation.
So Donald just asked me to do a summary, and I guess from the perspective of both organisations, what we're talking about is not leaving innovation to chance. Because if you're leaving innovation to chance, you're relying on luck. And you're also then creating the conditions whereby, if you're not careful, great ideas appear to get stomped on. And they're not willfully stomped on. It's the lack of a machine and the lack of a lightweight process by which innovations and great ideas can be harvested and brought to market. So you do need a process around it. It needs to be a conscious discipline of leadership to be creating the conditions whereby innovation can flourish. And you definitely need that factory, as both organisations have set up some sort of factory to bring these ideas to market that have all those great attributes of fail fast and succeed fast. I think one of the key things is that driving innovation requires relentless leadership. It needs that right-sized methodology. And the key to it is to have the skill and the judgment and the business knowledge, because this is really all done in a business context. And you could probably get a flavour that the doc experience, whilst it has many common traits in common with MSD, it's still a unique doc experience compared to MSD because of the different business context. So the type of innovations that doc is bringing to market is very apposite to their business, as are the innovations that MSD is bringing to market. But the processes are similar, and you don't innovate for the sake of it. As I was saying, you innovate because you've got a business intent in mind. You have to know enough about the business before you start. You have to be able to back winners, but a process can help you back the winners. And it doesn't have to be expensive. If you can create a lightweight process, if you can bring these ideas to market, to working prototype, then you've won half the battle, because you're not doing a paper exercise. You're not writing silly business cases that last hundreds of pages that take an enormous amount of organisational effort, because you can actually show people what you're talking about. And the best example of that I had at MSD was when we did an enterprise search prototype and showed the leadership team of MSD the ability to search on unstructured case notes in the child protection application, which were hitherto unpenetrable, and they were blown away, and they said, come back with a business case next month. Instead of having a business case foisted on them, they demanded it. And of course we did get it back in a month, and we're ready to go live with it just about. So that's what can happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.